We're live on both.
Huh?
We're live on both.
Good to go.
Okay, wait. Let's double check that on YouTube.
Ooh, gotta get that boom bap. That good boom bap.
Boom bap stuff.
I can't hear myself. Is that better?
I can hear
muffled.
you.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Maybe. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to Northside Plug. It's Thursday.
What's up, everybody? Hope everyone's having a great Thursday night here on Northside Plugged.
We back.
We
back as always. Thank you all for tuning in as always. Make sure you follow us on your favorite social medias. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. Make sure to tune in to us on the TuneIn Radio app, q4.org, AM 1680, or the iTunes Radio app. Thank you. The phone in line is 312-987-985-7834. I knew it was 985. 312-985-7834. Again, this is Northside Plug coming to you on another Thursday, October 29th. And we are less than a week away from the biggest election of our lifetimes.
Do they say that every election, or what makes this one different?
I think just at the state of our you are right. They do say that. I feel like every election. You're right. But I mean, in our short lifetimes, I feel like this one is the most, I want to say, skewed, or it's just very divisive, rather, not diversive.
Yeah.
Divisive is that like you're either on one side or the other, or it's just like if people look at you bad if you pick one side or the other. Because like in other political, like in past years, like. Sure, we might not have the same experience because we're older, but I feel like it was easier to side with either politician, if that makes sense. Because the years that like it was like Gore and Bush, like that was super close, like that was really really close, and it was like decided by like a couple votes in Florida or something like that. Where I feel like this one, like if it goes one way, a lot of people are going to be really pissed off. If it goes the other way, then a lot of people are going to be pissed off. I think either way, there are going to be some very unhappy American citizens in this country, no matter what the result happens on Tuesday. So
it's crazy you say on Tuesday, as if there's like not more than weeks away from our next official, like the end of voting.
Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah, because everyone's mailing in ballots or dropping them off. Like I dropped my ballot off last week at one of the voting centers in this city. And a lot of people are mailing them in. There's been early voting. I feel like early voting is bigger than ever, especially with the pandemic. This is like, that's how I've just kind of seen it how that is at least.
Yeah, no, it's weird because you'll have some places that have like super long lines and people are just waiting hours and hours to vote, and then you have other places that there's like two people ahead of you.
Yeah.
So it's just all over the place, and I think it, probably goes to demographics and I don't know how people are seeing this whole situation right now, because you probably have some areas where people I don't care about Carona, so they're all just going out and voting in person or whatnot.
We saw that firsthand, boys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then there's other people that do care. I don't know. It's all topsy-turvy.
It's just interesting walking into that territory and being like, oh, yeah, like, that's the narrative here, Like, literally every stop sign or every billboard we drove by for, like, 2 hours was calling the Democratic Party Marxists.
Yeah.
And socialists and all those sort of things.
Socialites.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man. Signs like that and the attack ads that I see on both sides, it just seems like a very different. It just seems like a very unique election, because like I was saying, like it's just very divisive on either side. Because like usually the attack ads aren't this bad. I feel like each one of them is just attacking the other, attacking, rather than trying to focus on what they're doing. I feel like it's more just like Donald's like, well, Sleepy Joe, and then Joe Biden's just like, this guy's a criminal, or just it just seems like they're so attacking at each other that it makes both the followers behind Trump and the followers behind Biden want to attack each other. So it just makes it a very divisive election. That's why I think that like no matter what happens, there's stuff's gonna go down.
Yeah.
And, like stuff's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Even though technically it's not official until like January, whatever. But it's still gonna be a crazy couple of weeks, months, even years, depending on what happens. Like, who really knows?
I'm over it, man. I really am, bro. You know, and I shouldn't. And like, I'm still very much, conscious about what's going on. But it's just, I'm just tired of the drama, man. I'm tired. It's all super embarrassing.
It really
There's no
is.
sports to watch. Dude, there's nothing to watch.
We got Thursday Night Football.
Like, we can turn into, like, an anime channel. Or, we just talk about, like, new anime and stuff. That's just Justin Bieber.
Yeah, I mean, I think. See, and I'm with you. I'm like done with it too. And I feel like I say this every show. I'm not a political person,
Right.
but this election has been one that I've probably followed the most since it's only my second one to be able to vote as an adult.
Yeah.
And like I was saying, it's kind of bringing that divisiveness in. I'm getting tired of it. Because I'm such not a political person, I'm so done with seeing all these ads and all the attacks and whatever. I'm just looking forward to those days in November where there's nothing on TV besides football on the weekends and maybe your occasional like lower tier college football game on the weeknights. Like I'm ready for that moment because it's going to be this weird year where there's going to be no basketball or hockey till the new year probably. No, obviously baseball's going to be on its fine schedule. Football's somehow still surviving. So it's going to be it's just going to be a weird few weeks after that, and hopefully as much of the politics we can get out of ourselves in the next 5 days, and then we can kind of calm down for a bit. But it won't calm down because that's not how this election's going to be.
It's only the beginning. It's only the beginning. The decision is only the beginning of the aftermath of what's to come. We have a whole future ahead of us of whatever's going to happen, and just got to take it a day at a time.
Exactly. And the thing that's crazy about this election is Justin was just saying, like, with all the mail-in ballots and all the people that are voting, like I did, like, through a mail-in ballot, but I dropped mine off at a place. Like someone could argue that if like they don't like the results on Tuesday, they could be like, well, let's wait till all the mail-in ballots get here. And it's like, who knows if that'll actually change things?
Yeah.
Like, we don't really know. And sure, it actually takes like days for them to like count all the votes properly. We as Americans just want to know who wins as soon as we can. We want to know the victor and the loser. We want to know winners and losers. That's what this country is. It's all about winners and losers. So as soon as we can estimate who the winner and the loser is, they're going to push that out, no doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
And like, it doesn't even matter if they have to wait for all the mail-in ballots. If they're just like, oh, someone got this state, that means they're going to win. Like, who really knows? We don't know until all the ballots are counted for however many millions of Americans decide to go out and vote, which I do think is going to be a huge number this year in comparison to the previous 2016 election. That's what I'm assuming, but I don't really know.
I mean, so far the numbers are a little high of however they can check the on pace. There's already
Early voters
more
are up.
voters at this time than there were 4 years ago.
True.
Yeah. But I also think that takes partially to the current climate of America, where many more are doing mail-in ballots and like early ballots. I don't remember them being open this early for 2016. I don't know if I was just like not paying attention enough, but I feel like there are so many more early elections like options available.
Yeah.
Whether it be like,
they had to give more time.
Right.
The coronavirus.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. It's just like the early voting is so open now because of the coronavirus, and trying to space people out because you don't want people on top of each other like during election day because you never know with this virus. So yeah, that's why it's such a unique election, and it's really going to shape the future of this country, which is really scary in the long run.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting for sure, and it'll be an interesting show to come back to next week, and we're gonna be talking. There'll be a whole different conversation next week. We have no idea what next week's show is gonna have in store, bro.
That's wild.
But y'all gonna want to tune in for next week's show because that's gonna be an interesting show.
Yeah, whatever happens, we're gonna be talking about it and giving our reactions to whatever the big game on Tuesday. As we've talked about a lot of games in this room, but they might not be any as important as the one on Tuesday night.
100%.
100%. So any last thoughts before we get off the politics? Because I'm getting sick of this political talk already.
I'm good.
Justin's like, nah, I'm good. All right, good. Well, anyways, I hope you all are registered to vote out there, and I hope you all go out and use your right to vote and pick. You can say all you want about who we want you to vote for and what we think is right, but at the end of the day, it's up to what bubble you fill in on that sheet and whatever you feel is right. I mean, I can tell you that I think Trump is a loser and he's spray tans look awful, but that might not change your opinion. So who knows?
Yeah, just go out and vote. At the end of the day, like, I'm not even gonna say how I'll feel. I won't feel it anyway either way. I'm just gonna be like, okay, this is what it is, you know. But I feel like just giving the fair chance and the fair and right chance is people just going out and vote. You know, the more people that go out and vote and have their voices heard, the less people we have to hear after. Like, damn, like this, that, whatever. You those are all the people that didn't vote. You know, I talk to people that complain. I'm like, oh, did you vote? They're like, well, then why are you talking?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like,
exactly.
why are you talking?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so go out and vote. If you respect yourself, you know, and you respect your country, go out and vote.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
That's all we can say. Just please go out and vote.
Mm-hmm.
Not much else we can do now, but go out and vote. Do your jobs.
No Psych Plug wants you to do your job and vote.
Vote.
Do it
Vote
now.
Now.
Not now. On Tuesday. If you can still go early, please do.
Go now.
Before it's like Fright Fest at Six Flags.
Ooh. They're the spiders still? I still want to know that.
What are you going trick-or-treating as for Halloween, G-Money?
I'm going to go as Boss Man.
You getting stilts?
Yes, sir. I
Wow.
already caught them.
I'll give you some of my Patriots gear, and you'll
Alright,
fit
bet.
just in.
That.
And you just gotta complain about everything. Complain about all the things that are bad with your teams, and then that sounds about right.
I'll pretend like I'm watching the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Let's go!
Let's go! Yeah, just me yelling for like a long time because I love to just yell all the time, especially when I'm watching football and my team in the Super Bowl. But on Tuesday, the World Series finished for all you baseball fans out there. The Los Angeles Dodgers ended a 32-year drought and brought a championship back to Los Angeles, winning in 6 games against the Tampa Bay Rays. I wanted the Rays from the start. I think we spoke about this before. I like to see the little team win. But to be fair, the Dodgers have been there 4 out of the past 5 years, or 3 out of the past 4. I apologize. It was their time. I think it was just their time to get a ring. And during this shortened season, they were the best team all year. It was a matter of time for them to win it. I knew in my heart I wanted the Rays, but I swear I texted my dad and said Dodgers in 6, so I got that prediction right. And there's only 3 people that I'm truly happy for on the Los Angeles Dodgers. Dave Roberts, manager of the Dodgers. He's been there for 5 or 6 years, and he's been there for 5 years. And each of the past 4 years, the Dodgers have been eliminated by the eventual World Series champion. So they've always lost to the top team. Mm-hmm. And this year, he finally climbed that mountaintop, got over that hill, over that bump, and won the dang thing. And everyone was worried that if they lost in the World Series again, he might have lost his job. Mm-hmm. Isn't that crazy for a manager to go to the World Series 3 out of 5 years and might lose his job? That's what's crazy about sports, is that if you don't get over that last bump that your team needs to get to, they'll just toss you to the side.
Get the shot done.
Yes. Part of being a manager is setting expectations and managing those expectations. And always, I don't know, I guess it in that sense, is it always safer to play it safe? And, you know, like, if you pick up a team that hasn't really made the playoffs, they'll be satisfied with a playoff run.
Yeah, right, exactly. But
you might have your job for, you know,
for a while,
especially if it's not a traditionally winning club.
Yeah, but even when he came in in 2016, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 5th year. In 2016, when he came in, the Dodgers already won the division 3 years prior to that. They've won the division all 5 years with Dave Roberts. And like I said, you're right about the expectations. Like, if they weren't a winning team, and for them to make the World Series and lose, like, Kevin Cash is not going to get fired, because the Rays have finally gotten to the World Series for the first time in like 12 or 13 years, getting them over that hump of beating the big money spenders, the Yankees and the Astros, and getting to that bump. And that'll make Kevin Cash look better. However, Dave Roberts, That was their third World Series in 5 years. If they didn't do that, then it's clearly not the players, it's him, because they brought in one of the best players in the league in Mookie Betts. So if they lost, it would have been there would have been some scapegoat, and it unfortunately would have been Dave Roberts. So I'm really glad that he won, and he deserves that to win as a manager and the player. I think he's like that. I forget what the number was. One of the few people to win as a player and a manager. And so Clayton Kershaw, 13-year veteran, one of the best pitchers of the 21st century, if not the best pitcher of the 21st century, finally got that monkey on his back, kind of like Dave, of getting that World Series ring. His career in the postseason has never been good. He's always struggled in the postseason. This year he had one of his best postseason campaigns, going 2-0 in the World Series with a sub-3 ERA. He was really dealing out there, and you could tell that he knew that this was their time to kind of do it, and he played his best. He played his best postseason this year, and it's all credit to him for finally getting that monkey off his back and officially putting his plaque into Cooperstown. Because if it was a debate before, it shouldn't be now that he's finally got that World Series ring, that the man will eventually be in Cooperstown in the Hall of Fame. And then the last person, if you know me, this is not a surprise. The third person I'm happy for is Mookie Betts. So we were on this show back in February, March, whenever that deal went down. Marcus Lynn Betts got traded from the Red Sox to the Dodgers. He signed a 12-year, $360 million deal.
Good Lord.
One of the best. He is the best player in baseball. I will make that argument. He's getting paid like he's the best player in baseball. He was just what the Dodgers needed to get them over that hump, and I'm really happy for him, and I wish him nothing but success, because I said this to G Money before, because he had to bring it up as well, obviously. I said, you like to see your exes do well. You just hate when your parents prevent you from dating that ex because they don't want to spend money. And they want to be cheap and bring in small prospects and use another year to get the luxury tax. And good thing we have financial flexibility, guys. Good thing. But anyway, that's the three people I'm happy for. And sure, there are other guys that I really like there, but those are the three that I really care about. And I hope the Rays come back there next year, because I really like watching their team, and Randy Arozarena explode was a lot of fun. And I'm going to miss baseball. I know we didn't have much baseball, but I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss it for the next few months, and hopefully I get to go to a baseball game next year, because I really miss going to baseball games and spending $12 on a beer. That's the one thing I miss, man.
Yeah. Take me out to the ballpark, huh? Take me out to the crowd.
Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back.
Solid road.
Root.
For the
Baseball team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For if it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out of the old ball game. That's how they say it. That's how it goes.
So start muting you guys.
That's fair. I kind of deserve that.
We need a new mic.
Speaking of baseball news, for all you Southsiders out there, the White Sox hired manager Tony La Russa to be their next manager. 76 years old. He managed for the White Sox back in the 70s and 80s. 79 to 86, and then 86 to 95 in Oakland, and then from 96 to 2011 in St. Louis.
Wow.
3-time world champion. He's in Cooperstown already. He was voted in 2014 because everyone thought he was done, but apparently he's not. But for me personally, it's a little bit of a confusing hire, because, like I said before we started, most baseball teams are looking to get younger managers, like player managers that are like in their 40s, and like younger guys who played the game like recently to kind of relate to the players and be like basically another guy on the team. Like kind of be relatable. That's what Dave Roberts is. That's what Alex Cora was. That's what I can't think of the name of the Nationals manager. I'm sorry. AJ Hinch was even like that too. Like it's like all these young guys kind of relating to the players and getting to their level.
David Ross,
great example. Yeah, another perfect example. David Ross. The White Sox went in the opposite direction. Sure, they went to a former player, but this dude's 76. He hasn't managed in almost a decade, and the game's changed so much in that decade. It's such like the way that home runs and strikeouts have increased rapidly in those past 10 years, I don't know if he's going to be able to handle it.
Mhm.
Like, no one plays small ball anymore. You don't see guys bunting. Like, you don't see bunting as much as you used to back when he started.
Yeah.
It's like a whole different league.
Yeah.
And sure, like, he's in the Hall of Fame, so and even after he was done with the Cardinals in 2011, not right after, but a couple of years, he was in the front office for the Red Sox. So he clearly stays close to the game. Like, it's not like in 2011, he went to go live in Montana, and then someone was like, hey, you want to manage baseball again? He's like, baseball? I'm done with. Like, he's still clearly around the game, and, like, he knows the ins and outs and everything. So maybe the White Sox just wanted to go with, like, familiarity.
Mm-hmm. I feel like, as a White Sox fan, bro, and I mean, I'm not, like, a huge baseball analytic person, but I feel like we haven't. I would say since Ozzy, and even Ozzy was kind of like hit or miss.
They should have brought back Ozzy.
Even with Ozzy was always just, you never know what you're gonna get with Ozzy. But it's like, ever since him, like, I don't know, our manager choices were strange. You know, I don't know. They just never felt like they fit with the club. So I don't know. I feel like having somebody that's gonna garner respect as soon as he walks in the building, and like because he's an older head, like, you're gonna have these young players that, I mean, you have this White Sox team that people were saying, hey, they can mess around and win the World Series this year. You know, I mean, obviously they lost to the Athletics, which, anyways, you know, I think it's a power move. I think they're telling themselves, yo, you know, we want to win. We believe we can win now. And let's bring somebody that's proven that they can win. You know, is it a gamble? Probably, yeah, because everything that Dan said is true. You know, you don't know where he's at. You know, but at the same time, like,
he's gonna manage that team the way that he wants to manage that team, though. And that's really the big thing. Is like he's not gonna rely on somebody else's numbers or somebody else's gut instinct to make a decision, to make a call, to make a final call, anything like that. And that's what is so valuable, clearly, about these highly experienced former coaches coming back out and I don't know, giving it another shot. Clearly, he is well informed enough to land the position.
Yeah, clearly, yeah. Like, Ryan Storff is not going to make a stupid, he's not going to make he's not going to do something so bold or so rash to pick out a guy who hasn't managed in like 10 years just because he's a Hall of Famer and he played for the club and managed them in the 80s. Like, clearly, like, they went through candidates. Like, they went through Alex Cora, they went through AJ Hinch, they went through all these guys, and there must have been something that Tony pitched them that they really liked, and I do think you're right. Like, he's going to garner that respect because he is a Hall of Famer. Like, you're going to have a Hall of Fame manager walking into your dugout. I think that just shows ownership believes in this group of guys.
Yeah, I agree.
To show that they just need that push. And if Tony La Russa can give them that push over the edge, then maybe that's what they need. So that's a great point to bring up, is that experience and all that kind of might be what this team full of so much talent. Yeah. Like, they have talent coming out of their ears. Like, this might be the right thing to kind of push them over the edge and get them to win the division and go to the ALCS and hopefully get that big hunk of metal that Rob Manfred called it a couple months ago. Yeah. Just like, I think it's going to be good. I'm really curious to see how it is. I feel like a lot of White Sox fans were looking that way and wanted to go someone younger like everyone is, but I think ownership's trying to go back to be like, hold on, let's just do something different. Let's go old school and see how that works.
Yeah, you know what it kind of reminds me of too is, like, I mean, I know that they didn't go crazy in terms of winning with this manager, but I'm referring to the Cubs when they got Lou Piniella. I feel like it's somewhat similar because it's like, yeah, they didn't win, but I feel like that was like the first turning point. That was like, I mean, after the crazy Marlins Cubs debacle, right? Because that was 2008 when
that was Dusty Baker.
No, well, now I'm saying 2008.
That's back when Greg Maddux still pitched.
That was 2003, the Marlins.
No, I understand. I'm saying 2008 is when they had Lou Piniella. And that was the first time they had been back to the playoffs since, I believe, that debacle. So my point being is that I feel like, you know, sure, they hadn't won for another 8 years, but I think that was one of the first things that you saw with the Cubs organization where it was like, okay, we're gonna get this experienced guy that's gonna, be kicking the sand at the umpires and stuff, like waking them up, and it's like it. Sure, they didn't do anything crazy, but at the same time, I feel like the Cubs organization started to gain respect, and then they had losing seasons, and then boom, things start picking up. They're getting great prospects, and then they get Theo Epstein, and then everything else, unraveled to history itself. So I feel like. I don't know. I feel like this is a good sign for the Chicago White Sox.
That's a good point as well. Yeah, bringing in some, like you said, I think it's just the experience. Man. You brought up a great point with Lou Piniella. Like, sure, they won 2 divisions. I'm looking at Lou in 4 seasons won 2 divisions with the Cubs.
Yeah. So not terrible,
So not terrible. I mean, they won divisions and they got to the playoffs. They got swept both times, but they got there. So it pushed them into that right direction.
Yeah.
And like you said, once they got Theo, once they got all those prospects coming up after those bad years, like it just all came together. So for the White Sox, hopefully it kind of goes in that same direction that once it just gives them that push needed to go upward.
Yeah.
And I think Ryan Storff knew that when he brought him in. So
what's crazy is it still feels like the White Sox just won the World Series. For me, I feel like they just won the other day, man. Even though I was in early grade school when that all happened. The thing about the Cubs winning, right, was that it was talked about in the movies for years about how it's never gonna happen. It's been 100 years, and then 100 years came and went, and it's been years, and then it happened, and then I don't know, the degree in which people talk about it change. So for the White Sox, I feel like that looming nature of that streak of losing over a span of time doesn't it doesn't weigh on them the way that it does. If anything, they're clamoring back to reach the heights that they were. You know what I mean? After they won, I remember the Sox sucked for quite a few years. Years after they won.
Pretty much since
they won.
Now,
You know what I mean? And I don't know. I feel like they're kind of in the nobody really is expecting them to win is the thing.
They're a super underrated team in the league, I would say.
That's probably their biggest advantage.
They're a wagon. They're an absolute wagon of a team. I said that at the beginning of the year. I'll still say it again. They're a wagon of a team. But I agree. They are kind of under the radar. Because I feel like it was when the White Sox won, all the pressure went to the Cubs. And then once the Cubs won, I feel like the pressure kind of went back onto the White Sox. But the pressure on the Cubs is still there. Because now I think they're both realized that, okay, we've both won one in the 21st century. Who's going to get that second one? And I think both teams are kind of racing towards that. The White Sox have kind of been stumbling. But I think since the Cubs won in 2016, the White Sox are like, crap, we have to take the city back over.
Yeah.
We want to be the baseball team of this city again. Because when Joe Madden first got here, that 2015-2016, this city had Cubs fever.
Yeah.
There was so much of that. There was so much of that blue everywhere in the pinstripe jerseys, and you could just feel it.
Yeah.
So I think the White Sox are looking to kind of get that momentum back on their side, or at least have a lot more I don't know how to put it properly, but just to show dominance and then hey, we're a good baseball team too.
Have that swag. Yeah. No, I feel you, man.
I feel like the Sox would be a little bit more of a win for the people. You know what I mean? For the city of Chicago, Cubs have always been big money, big industry.
Yeah, true.
And if it weren't for that losing streak and them overcoming that ginormous losing streak, the narrative wouldn't have been the same, and it would be interesting for a new narrative to help define Chicago in a positive way. What sport, what thing is going to be the thing to be the gasoline to that flame. And right now we're all just kind of sitting intermittently. The whole world right now is, the cumulative consciousness is kind of being forced to look at itself. Everybody's just kind of restless because, when you take time to be introspective when everyone else is out and about, I don't know, you feel like you need to catch up with yourself, but the whole world is literally telling it, it's the whole world is telling itself to just kind of just slow down. That's what the world is telling us to do, is just slow down and I don't know.
But we're refusing to do so.
Right. we're built to make it through this.
Mm-hmm.
It just everything just feels like a frenzy right now. Everything just feels like there's no
Feels volatile.
control of anything that's going on right now. It just feels like it's a free, like, of course there's society and there's law and order and whatever, you know, but it's just like throughout that, like the whole interior, like cognitive game just feels really weird right now, man. You know, I feel like people's minds are all scrambled and jumbled and like it's weird, man. It's weird. We're all going through it, you know. It's just weird to think that we're March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. Like we're going into like 8 months of a global pandemic of like, you know, countries are going back into lockdown and stuff, you know. Here in Illinois they're going back to closing down
Bars at last call at 9 p.m. That's what I saw at one of the places by my house.
People can't eat inside and stuff, at least in the birds and stuff, you know. So it's just like
All my events canceled for this week.
really,
Yeah.
It's crazy.
yeah. So it's
going to go back into another period of a lot of shutdowns and closings, and there'll still be people out there who don't want to wear masks when it's not that hard.
it's just gonna be crazy, man, because it's gonna be like we haven't experienced this in the winter yet. You know, we experienced this like as it was turning into spring, you know, and it was all warm weather for the most part, you know, and then you saw once it came like May, June, and it was getting warm. That's everybody was out.
People
you know?
were antsy to get out.
And then boom, George Floyd, you know, everything just escalated how it did, you know. So now it's like being on the other side of the seasons and it's turning into winter and stuff, and it's like not only are countries locking down this, that, whatever, but it's like lockdown or not, it's gonna be freezing out. It's gonna be snowing and stuff, and you're not gonna be wanting to go outside anyways, you know. So it's just gonna be crazy.
Yeah, hopefully that the fact that it's going to be winter and people stay inside usually anyways, hopefully that we don't have as big of a spike as we did during the summer and during the warmer months. I hope that's a sign of, I hope that just like leads people to just stay inside more often, because it's going to be dark out earlier anyway. We were just talking about daylight savings on Sunday. Sunset's going to be before 5 o'clock. Like people are going to get out of their jobs at 5 and it's going to be pitch black outside. Like they're not going to want to go outside. So hopefully that just hopefully that the cold months kind of lead to more people staying in quarantine and not going outside as much as they need to, so that we can have baseball games in the spring and be able to go to those events
beers.
and spend $12 on a beer and $8 on a hot dog. I want to spend $20 for things I could get for $5 at Jewel. All right, just wear your mask, people. It's not that hard. Jeez. I just want to go to baseball games, man. Funny, but I'm like that. But it's like that serious though. But like, but it's like I'm like that serious. Like sure, at the moment I'm like, oh, why did I pay $12 for this beer? But then as soon as I sit in my seat and I'm watching baseball in front of me, I don't even care anymore. That's just all behind me.
Why I paid $12 for a whole pack?
We get creative, man.
But I can spend $12 on this one pie.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly.
That's the American.
That's capitalism, baby.
I want to shove an $8 hot dog down my throat while my ball club is down 8 runs in the 7th inning. And I'm anticipating that what is it, what's it called, the 7th inning stretch.
Oh, I'm so my team's down 8 runs, but I gotta sing the "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
I gotta eat my Cracker Jacks. That's the American dream. Mask up and everything.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a weird few months, man, and I hope people quarantine, because I'll pay $20 for a beer at this point. I don't care. I'm just ready. I'm ready to go back to a baseball game. God dang it.
Oh, that's funny, man. Oh, it's funny because it's true.
It is true. It's so true. The funniest things have a little bit of truth in them.
Yeah, man.
All right, so we're going to take a quick short break to grab our breath and let Gino get some water or something over here, because he thinks I'm Jerry Seinfeld over here.
This guy over here.
What's the deal with airline food? All right, so we'll just take a quick break and we'll come right back into it. Make sure you stay with us here on Q4 Radio, Northside Plugged. Yeah, stay with us, please. Thanks. Love you guys. Oh.
That was funny. Oh, yeah.
It's hot. It's warm in here. I had to take out my sweatshirt. I'm sweating.
I just hate like when it gets so dry.
Yeah, dude, I get the worst fucking headache, bro.
Need some water?
I'm dying. No, I'm good, thank you. My head's feeling better now. I took some ibuprofen. And then,
That makes you sound like a dick. What else do we want to talk about? I don't want to be the one talking the whole time.
I don't know, man.
Anything you want to talk about, Justino? We don't have to go much longer either. We can just go for like maybe 20 minutes or so. If we have nothing to talk about.
I wanted to give some new music to listen to, but I'm still making my way through some shit to really like discuss it, you know. I started listening to that new Gorillaz album, which is really good.
I haven't listened to that yet.
It's a good listen. Beats be the truth, though. What y'all think about Van Gundy for New Orleans?
They hired him.
Steve Van Gundy.
It'll be good. Kind of similar with LaRusso, I think, an older person for all the youthful talent.
I was tempted to bring that up. I didn't know if it was like the same type of conversation.
Yeah, it kind of is, honestly. So that's a good point.
Who did he win a championship as a coach?
I don't think so. No, he got fired from the Heat. Pat Riley won that same year. We can talk about a little more COVID things. The Justin Turner thing. Did you see that at all? And apparently, Clemson's starting quarterback Trevor Lawrence just tested positive.
You what?
He just tested positive.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, shit.
He was supposed to be one of the best talents coming out of college next year.
Yeah.
So, but if you want to start off at that point, Stan Van, yeah, that's a good point as well. And then we can get into what Justin Turner did with Trevor Lawrence.
I love this team. Ooh, these beats be sounding good. They sound real good. Can never can you hear me, folks? Gentlemen? Oh, I can hear you guys.
We back.
We back. Welcome back.
Another beautiful night on Northside Plug. Thank you for sticking with us. Make sure you follow us: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all your favorite social medias. Like I always say, 312-985-7834. You want to call in, chat, say what up. Northside Plugged. And we're here. Another beautiful Thursday. Justin made this great comparison while we were out there. How Stan Van Gundy was hired by the Pelicans.
And
how
I wanted to bring it up.
Yeah,
I was tempted to bring it up when we were talking about the LaRusso hire. Because I know he had some coaching experience, but I didn't know how successful he had been in terms of accolades, in terms of, total wins he has had. His name doesn't I recognized it when I heard, but it wasn't one of those marquee names that you think of when we're talking about Hall of Fame head coaches and stuff like that.
Right, and he took the Magic to the finals that one year.
With Dwight.
Yeah, with Dwight. He's brought teams to the playoffs. Clearly he's a good coach. His brother's a good coach as well. I think it's kind of similar to that Relusa thing, like we were talking about. I think an older guy with experience. Sure, he hasn't won at the big level. He hasn't won the big stage like LaRussa has, but just kind of that older talent. And he's good. He's worked well with big guys. Shaq in his first couple of years in Miami. He brought Dwight to that level, to the 3-time Defensive Player of the Year and all. Dwight in his prime. So with him working with Zion, that's going to be very interesting and it's very exciting to see.
If Zion gets good minutes and is put alongside a starting five, and I think their bench might even have some noteworthies. Not off the top of my head, but I think it'd be interesting to see how they come out, because he's the type of guy to come up with creative solutions. Yeah. That whole premise of put Dwight Howard right in the post and surround him with shooters was kind of prehistoric to what we know as these typical small ball lineups.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely an interesting hire. At the very, very least.
Yeah. I think they just wanted someone with experience. I don't think they were looking to get someone just fresh out like the Nets did with hiring Steve Nash.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're looking to someone to give experience because their squad is so young.
Yeah.
I think they're looking for someone that can kind of provide them that NBA experience from a coaching perspective and kind of know where his coaching prime might have been in the early to mid 2000s or 2010s, but they're hoping. But I think that he still has good years in him, and I think with the squad like this that he might do he might do something.
Yeah.
Like, who knows?
I mean, I feel like with coaching, it's not like players where you only have like 10, 12 years or something. Like you could be older and still like have an opportunity.
True, very true.
And I don't know if I'm a general manager, like I don't know. I kind of like looking at those coaches that are like doing TV analysis. So like look at the Warriors and getting Mike Jackson, for example, and then the Warriors getting Steve Kerr. You feel me? Like I like those picks because it's like just watching them, you and hearing them break down the games. I mean, it's like sure they already know so much because they're already like this is their life and they're NBA coaches already, but it's like they might not be coaching all those years and stuff, but they're like literally watching the game. Like they're right there in front.
Yeah.
They got the telestrators. They're breaking everything down. So it's like I don't know, man. Like I feel like it's a cool pick. It's something that like I don't know if it's gonna like totally work, but I think he's gonna bring like a good gritty.
He's not given a bad situation by any means.
Yeah.
I see a situation more like Thibodeau out in New York. Like you see, coaching wise, you kind of see that similar track record where he had a little bit of playoff success. He had the story behind like why he is where he is, being like the type of mind that he is. But in a completely different situation out in New York where everybody's all but completely disregarded this team as even competitive in the current NBA environment, which is kind of saying a lot. Like you have literally every big-time sports, news, radio, talk show host saying numbers on Dolan, man, just numbers on him. And with the sale of the Utah Jazz, I don't know. It seems like the perfect time for Dolan to get to give up at least a majority share.
I
don't know. I think it would be what my ultimate point is that I think it would be interesting to see the Knicks become something more than what they always have been, at least in our lifetime.
Yeah. And it's kind of, the Knicks are kind of, it's like when the teams in New York are doing good, the league's doing good because it's such a popular place that when those teams are doing well, viewership's up and just like all the numbers go up statistically. Like, sure, I hate the Yankees, but when they're a good team, baseball just does better and like it's more attracted to the sport. When the Jets or the Giants do well, like there's more people paying attention to the sport. The Knicks, if they can ever figure it out and win ball games, then basketball will be even bigger than it already is. So, to
become something that's more widely accepted as as much as guaranteed death and taxes. Knicks losing games. That's like the joke out there.
Yeah.
It's just an interesting look at like where these new hires are going, where they are coming from, what situations they're being put into, what they're inheriting, and what they can possibly do with them. I'm not saying like look at New York and expect something to pop up, but it's worth mentioning that like everybody's basically completely ruled them out.
Right, and like sure, and then so it's weird because you have teams like the Knicks and the Pelicans going old school, and then you have the Rockets hiring a first-time coach, Stephen Silas,
I like that hire.
who has been assistant for 20 years. Like to be fair, he's been in the game, so like it's not like they're just hiring. I hate to keep making this comparison. Steve Nash, who is an intelligent mind, he doesn't have coaching experience. Is what I mean when I say this. Because I love Steve Nash, and I know you do. That's why I'm making sure you understand. That's why I'm making sure you know I understand. But like, and apparently Silas was one of the favorites to get the job before they hired D'Antoni. Like he was on the short list then.
I really like this hire.
So I think,
Rockets.
So I think it's gonna be the right direction, kind of, and just interesting to see teams going in those different directions with how they think they need to address their problems with their their coaching problems, or how to fix their team problems with hiring the right coach.
I feel like this situation works unilaterally, where like if they could land them a coach that gets James Harden and Russell Westbrook completely on the same page, like a trifecta coach, James Harden, Russell Westbrook.
Mm-hmm.
I think that could be the difference maker in a winning team for Houston. You see like the surprising plays that the Mavericks have come up with over the past couple seasons in particular, and you wonder how much a part of their success is going into the consideration of this hire, because I really liked the trajectory of the Mavericks offense being one of the most prolific offenses that we are seeing right now.
Yeah, and apparently Silas is it works well with guards, and he's very good at handling offensive talent. So you have James Harden, Russell Westbrook. James Harden's one of the best scorers the league has seen. So hopefully that's a good connection that can kind of lead them to. I don't know how many more points James Harden can score in order for his team to win, but maybe that's just like you said. Maybe it's the right thing. Maybe
he'll need to beat Wilt Chamberlain's #1 scoring title. I'm kidding, but
I don't believe in the Houston Rockets roster. I feel like I don't know. I think with James Harden and Russell Westbrook, I think they are kind of on the same page just because they have such good chemistry, And I think whatever goes on between them on the court, they can hash out between themselves, And I think you guys are right. I think if you have a coach with what you just read off, I think that's only going to help them. I think that will be a great trifecta. But outside of that trifecta, bro, I don't believe in nothing that the Rockets have, man. The Rockets do, I don't believe in how they're built. Daryl Morey's not, so they're going to have a new general manager, which is good for them in that aspect, because you're going to have somebody that's going to run the show a little different. I mean, Daryl Morey was able to pull some cool triggers and get some great players, don't get me wrong, but I think at this point now, I mean, you played LeBron James and you got exposed, I mean, you look at all the images that are in my head right now, bro, is Russell Westbrook going to the cup and just getting blocked by LeBron James every time, bro, and just looking like, but from any other player, Russell Westbrook looks like dominant, like he's like huge compared to, and he just looks so small compared to LeBron James, bro, So, and if LeBron James is in the West, you've got that, you've got the Warriors, you've got all these great teams coming up, I don't know if you can win with what's already been proven doesn't work, If you're coming into this year with the same roster that lost last year, a new coach isn't going to do anything for you. And trust me, I've been watching Mike D'Antoni for 10 plus years, and I know firsthand that Mike D'Antoni's style of coaching is not going to win you an NBA championship unless he has a LeBron James or a Kobe Bryant or a Kevin Durant. Then maybe, possibly, but that style of coaching isn't going to work out because there's not enough emphasis on defense.
Yeah, and I mean, there's not really much they can do, because looking at what they have signed next year, I mean, Russ and James Harden take up 63% of their cap space.
Wow.
2 players taking up 63% of your cap space is ridiculous. It's just mind-blowing. And according to this, they currently have 9 or 10 players, depending on who signs their options or whatever. But 60% on 2 guys is not going to give you much space for elsewhere. And I think they need a center. I think straight up, if we're going to answer the problems of the Rockets in 1 second, small ball, they didn't play small ball. They played super small ball. I don't think it's too small ball.
Warriors weren't even playing that small.
Yeah, I don't think that's too small of basketball to be playing. So I think they need to get just some size.
Yeah.
Someone big. Someone just who can go up and contest for rebounds and rim protect.
Yeah.
Because Anthony Davis and LeBron were easily going to the rack all day. They were not having a problem getting in there.
Yeah.
So that's what my initial thoughts on the Rockets issues, but we'll see what Steven Silas does. And his background says he's worked great with perimeter players and kind of helped Steph as a rookie. So who knows?
Yeah, no, we'll see. Oh, was he on the Warriors?
For a couple of years.
Oh, okay.
During Steph's younger, so he wasn't on the team when they won titles, but Steph's first 2 or 3 years he was there.
He was there. He was working with Luka.
According to Wikipedia, which I know we can't really take.
Wiki.
With the Warriors, Silas concentrated on the development of perimeter players as well as the game preparation and managing the team's offensive and defensive playbook. One of these perimeter players includes 2 times MVP Stephen Curry. So
Nice.
before he also coached with the Bobcats, the Mavs.
The Bobcats.
So he's been around the league. So he's seen good basketball. He's seen bad basketball. He's seen it all. So he's not lacking in experience by any means.
Yeah.
It's all about just putting it out on the court and executing it at the end of the day. And
Yeah.
we'll see if he can figure out how to play perimeter with 2 ball-heavy point guards. So
Speaking of bad basketball, the Charlotte Bobcats.
rest in peace.
That's all I have to say.
Some great uniforms. Do you remember the checkered uniforms?
It was. I'm sorry. Everything about the Charlotte Bobcats was just like horrifyingly ugly to me. Their court, their jerseys. Like this is just my personal opinion. I just never thought what they had going on was attractive in any way.
Hold on, I gotta find the ones with the checkered print on them. Those things are fresh. Not really, because they're really bad. But they're so bad they're good.
The newer jerseys were kind of decent. The ones Kemba was rocking.
Like these
the
ones?
Cats. Yeah, those were decent.
Meow. The cats.
Meow.
Meow. These ones, there they are. Look at these with the checkered print on the
Nice.
side.
Ugh.
And it was so good when they got the Hornets
Yeah,
back.
that was huge. Mike knew what he was doing on that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, shouts out to Michael for doing the right thing and getting the Hornets back to Charlotte where they belong.
Just the color wave is so ugly to me. Like that weird
It's like a weird blue orange.
beige. Yeah, it just does not look good.
No, it's not good. Not good at all.
And I'm a big believer, and this is why you see teams change their logo and everything. Just that logo alone or just that color wave. I think it does make a difference. Especially when you're on that team as a player. I feel like you're gonna feel better as a player if you've got that fresh Lakers jersey than something like that on.
Yeah, that's fair.
How do you feel about the Sonics then?
Sonics had nice jerseys, man.
Sonics
They were
have
beautiful.
Sonics
yeah.
have beautiful jerseys.
Yeah. LT, baby, Myrtle and Gold. Well, then Supersonics were what? Green and
yellow.
Little
Well, they
bit of
were.
red.
Yeah, they had a little red in the '90s, and they went to green and yellow.
Orange. They had orange in there.
No, Sonics jerseys were interesting, but I like them. I like them overall.
Yeah. Just like Seattle, I feel like Seattle's
One of those cities that I feel like is just missing basketball.
Yeah,
super hard.
absolutely.
They're salty about that.
Absolutely, they need some football back in that. Sorry, not football. I saw someone just texted me about football. They need basketball back in that city for sure.
Save our Sonics from the dude on the Sports Center.
Yeah.
I laugh every time he says that. Bro.
Save for the Sonics.
He'll say it to this day. I'll laugh.
It's not gonna happen. I don't know if the NBA will expand anytime soon. I think they're okay at 30 teams.
Well, there ain't no expansion going on during a global pandemic. That's for sure.
Don't tell the NHL that they're adding the Seattle Kraken.
No way.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
Really?
Sick. It's a sick logo though. They have sick jerseys, but I don't know if it's gonna be this year or next year. They have some sick jerseys though. Those look kind of fresh.
Those are fresh. They're like the Mariners, kind of.
Yeah, kind of like that. And these ones with the anchor, that one's
Yeah.
fresh as hell. Yeah, the NHL, the least money-making league out of the 4 major ones, keeps adding teams, which is ridiculous to me.
Okay.
So they're going to be up to 32 like the NFL. Crazy.
That is crazy.
One other thing I want to talk about. I remembered as we were talking off air real quick about the World Series. A big point I missed kind of overshadowed the championship celebrations. In Game 6, in the 7th inning, third baseman Justin Turner, who has been on the team forever, he's been through all those championship droughts or all those teams that got that close but not close enough. Taken out in the 7th inning because he tested positive for coronavirus. And they tried to make him isolate and put him away. But somehow, when they were celebrating on the field the win, he snuck out there, half wearing his mask, kissing his wife, hugging players and his teammates and coaches. And it was just a mess. The MLB handled the playoffs so well and just ended on such a dark note. It's a disgrace. It really is. Because it looked so bad with that going on, and Rob Manfred was speaking to give the trophies out, and he was like talking over himself at some points because he had the communications coming through his ear, and he kept like thinking like because like sometimes you hear yourself like a little late, and then you like get kind of confused.
Yeah,
Happened to him like
Happened
to him like 10 times. It sounded like he was drunk or having a stroke. But like, I think that's what his problem was. And then they see Justin and like the post game show. They're all talking about like what they saw from the game, blah 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 blah. And then they see Justin Turner like walk out to come celebrate with the team and kiss his wife and hug everyone. And it was just a disaster. I mean, I get that you've been waiting your whole life to win that trophy, but you were asked to isolate for 1 day, dude. Like, it's not that hard.
Even so, man, like, because trust me, like I understand, the I understand. Obviously, we're not in that position, but I understand. Like, okay, like I wanna, like you said, I've been through all these droughts. I want to be there when my team finally wins it. Like, this is a once in a lifetime possibly moment. I understand that, but it's just like in that event, and you got COVID. At least like the bare minimum of this situation. The bare minimum that he could have done if he was wholeheartedly deciding, like, okay, I have to be out there with my team, at least put yourself, like, over there, let the squad do their thing, and then, maybe they could finesse I mean, obviously, that's a perfect world, and that's kind of, but it's just, like, it just looks foolish on your part, and it just makes you, and I don't even care, it's not a big deal to me,
right.
But just seeing that image of him smiling out there and kissing his wife, it disrespects me, bro. It makes me feel bad. It makes me feel like you're just another example of, okay, you're somebody that doesn't care and is willing to go, potentially put all your other teammates and family members and whatever at risk of harm, and okay, sure, maybe, everybody's going to say, oh, you can get over it, this, that, whatever, you're not going to die, whatever, But at the end of the day, man, people are dying from this stuff, and this ain't a joke. And this, countries are going into lockdown for this, bro. And people are suffering whether they have the virus or not. People are suffering from the repercussions of this virus being out here, And to have that just is not a good image, bro. Because I'm sorry, one more point.
No, go ahead.
Not only for baseball, but another example of our culture as the United States of America, and to have these athletes that you have young kids at home looking up to them, and imagine a 8-year-old, 10-year-old kid that like you, Dan, just like super passionate about baseball, right, and just loves it. And this is something when you're a kid and you're looking up to these players, these are grown men.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
And imagine being that same kid that your uncle or your aunt or your grandpa or whatever is in the hospital, is in the hospital because of COVID, but you see one of your favorite players kissing his wife, smiling, yet has coronavirus. Like, what message does that send? Like, how do you feel? How do you react when you got all of that going on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead, finish your thought.
I mean, that's just pretty much it. It's just, I don't know, man. It disgusted me, to be honest.
Yeah, and you make a great point, I think, at the end there with, like, these guys are role models.
Mm-hmm.
And if, like, and kids are going to be affected by seeing that their favorite player tested positive for this virus as like a kid, has kept me away for school for months, and I've been stuck at home, and this guy tests positive for this virus. Yeah, and then he goes out there and just pretends like nothing's wrong, and like sure he wears a mask for like 5 seconds, but he keeps going like this, and he kisses his wife, and he's like, yeah, congratulations, dude. And he's dapping all his friends up, giving them hugs, and it's like unbelievable. It's just ridiculous to set terrible examples for kids.
Because what message is sent to that kid? Because this is the thing, bro. There's so many schools that are open right now where kids are going to school like normal. You feel me? Like, sure, there's schools that are maybe half and half or no school at all, it's all Zoom, whatever. But there's schools that are wide open, bro.
Mm-hmm.
What does it tell, the kid, that same kid, what does it tell that kid that's like, oh, say that kid gets coronavirus. Oh, okay, I don't have to tell anybody that I got coronavirus. I can just go to class and dab with my homies and kiss my girlfriend, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, it's so jacked up, bro, because you could have somebody that's just like knowingly has it. It's just like, whatever, I don't care about the people around you, whatever. Yeah. That's just so disrespectful, bro, because people out here have family members and stuff. You know, again, it's like, okay, to some it's lethal, to some it's not. Sure, what it's this virus is so unpredictable to the next case,
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, as somebody that has loved ones around me and has to work every day to make sure that I'm safe, like F you, dude. Like straight up, F you. That's my message to people like that, man.
We live in such a self-centered society, and if it doesn't affect me directly, or I'm so worried, like Justin Turner was so worried about his own bubble and his own things that he didn't care about the players or the other. I mean, surely he does, but like just going out there with a virus that we don't have a cure for yet and doing things like that seemed just very selfish.
Yeah.
Because like you don't know how those players' families or those managers' families, how if they're like very susceptible or things like that. It just seemed very weird, and it just put a very dark cloud over what was a not totally successful but a somewhat successing baseball season.
It's still just at the end of the day a beautiful moment. You just won the World Series. You're five, like you knowing that we just came out of a it's a moment of just not thinking, not thinking. You can see it on his face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he just didn't want to care, and apparently the next day everyone else on the Rays and Dodgers tested negative, and they all got to fly home. But Justin and his wife had to stay in Arlington for at least, I don't know if they're still there, but they had to stay at least through Wednesday. So.
Yeah, well, it's a blessing that everyone's okay, and that's the thing, everyone's cool, everyone's okay. That's cool, but the message is still bad, and it's disrespectful.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I hope he gets healthy and he's a good athlete. So I want him to get well.
No
it's just
doubt.
that I just think it was very selfish of him in that moment
100%.
to kind of do what he did.
100%. You don't wish any malice or bad bad things on him.
I just wish he thought it out.
Just wish you would be empathetic towards your brothers that you went to war with. It's just that's all it is.
That's all it is. And college football, kind of going one last thing on this COVID train, is that more college football players are testing positive. Wisconsin played their first game last week, and apparently 12 players tested positive this week, so they're not even playing. Trevor Lawrence, the quarterback from Clemson, who was supposed to be a top draft pick in next April's draft, just tested positive. So now the Clemson, who's the number one, I don't know if they're number one, but they're up there. Their season's in jeopardy, and it's just turning into a whole mess. It's just a mess of trying to play sports during this bubble if you don't handle it right.
Yeah.
If you don't handle yourself right or take the proper precautions and whatever, maybe even if you do, you just don't know because it's there's so much mystery behind this virus still. People can say we know this virus, but you don't. You really don't. We don't know how to cure it yet. We're still trying to figure that out.
It's all over the place. And I mean, that's the thing with college sports, too. What did we expect with how literally mid-season, they're like, okay, we're going to come back, the Big Ten, right? It's just, you have all these
and they have no room to make up that game. They're literally like, oh, that game, it's done. It's done from existence. We're not going to make that up because they're on such a tight schedule because they waited for so long to take action.
And it's at least with major sports, it's I don't know, I guess you could say there's a little more control because you have these players under salary and you're on this ball club and stuff, right? But with football, it's okay, you're part of this team, but you're a part of this university, you're part of this school. So once you're done with the games and practice and everything, you're going linking up with your homies and your friends and stuff. I bet dude went to a party and and got coronavirus there probably. He's probably the most popular dude on campus. What do you expect?
Exactly. Yeah, you're not you can try to contain college kids as much as you want, but they're still going to figure out ways to party.
No doubt.
All these literally this kid's the king of Clemson, South Carolina. This guy runs this town. There's no chance he's not going to go out and take advantage of what he has as an opportunity, and outside of the football field, this being the most popular kid. And, it's just a weird time because when things like this happen, then you have to sit them out, and then if they come back fully healthy or if they don't, we don't really know because we don't know how to fully cure this thing yet. And it's they have to sit out for 14 days, and it's just a whole mess. No one can get on the same page. It's crazy.
Yeah. Just hope for the best for everyone, man, and just continuing to fight this daily battle that is the new world that we live in. You know, so just gotta keep our heads up and stay safe out here, and just be smart, man. Just be smart.
Yeah,
Like
be smart. Please be smart.
being smart and good health and just taking care of your family is the ultimate wealth right now. You know, like everything else outside of that, man, is just the game that is life. You know, life is just a game. Everything is just we're popping out and we're waking up every morning to climb that next level of the ever elusive ladder that is life. You know, but once in a while you gotta stop on that ladder and appreciate the view. You know, I don't think we're doing that as a society.
Mm-hmm. Very true. I agree with that. Yeah, it's just such a strange. I would say, I feel like we're a broken record, but it's just unforeseen, unprecedented times, as all the emails say. So you just got to be smart and be grateful for the health that you and your family do have at this time, because for some people it's not as easy as some of us have it. So
yeah, and it's just the crazy thing is, bro. You know, I feel like, bro, it's such a broken record because we're stuck in this broken record. That's what it feels like, you know. And it's just like, I don't know, man. It's just, I feel like right now it's so important for all of us to really feel like we can be open and be able to express ourselves, because I'm telling you, man, like everyone right now is feeling just a lot, you know, feeling a lot. Everyone's going through something right now, bro. And we just have to all be open and understand that, like, yo, we're here for each other, you know, even if we're feeling in these moments like, you know, the world is caving in on us. It's like we still got to push through and tell our brothers, tell our sisters, like, yo, I got you. You know, I'm right here. You know, it's just that little, what's it called? Reminders.
reassurance.
Reassurance goes a long way, man. And if we can continue to just do that in our day-to-day lives and
Just pay it forward.
Pay it forward. Exactly, man. 100%.
Exactly.
Y'all stay safe.
Mm-hmm. Any last thoughts, boys, before anything else anyone want to get off their chest, get off their mentals?
Mm-mm.
Can you play a beat?
Yeah, let's let G Money go for some freestyle for
Sure.
Feel like spinning show. Just want to thank you all for tuning in and listening to Northside Plug. As always, it's always an honor and a privilege to be here with Justino Puccino and Balls Dan. Shout out to Kid ISO doing his thing. You know, it's all love. Shout out everybody on the Northside Plug family. We're all just building, man.
Mm-hmm. We appreciate you all for always tuning in and checking us out. Always.
YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Yup. We waiting on these Justino Puccino Peter Roonies.
No. There you go.
Hey. It's kind of like staticky.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's probably my phone.
It's all good. We'll have a Northside Plug freestyle next week.
Yeah.
So we'll get back next week. But
We'll just play these beats.
yeah, go ahead. Go off a J Dilla beat.
Hey. Yeah. Hey, let me catch it. Let me find my flow. Let me catch it. Let me fly my flow. Beat backtrack, but here we go. Gotta catch myself. I don't even know where I'm gonna go, just going for my mode. Glad to be here with my guys in the stew. Working hard every day, dang, who knew life would be having this type of point of view. But that's okay because we know the world's skewed. This world is attractive. Seeing what's going on, got the work to back it. Trying to live lavish, but impoverished is how we feeling. Trying to find what is true, what we gon' do. How we gon' flip a new day for you, for me. Everything that's happening to you, to me. The realest that we ever done seen. Drop a new video on that YouTube, blood. Shout out to my Sam, shout out to Sam, that's my blood. Shout out to my cuz, shout out we the ones. Coming up, we getting all this money, we the ones. Trying to up the sum, J Dilla. Trying to get my money, young vanilla. But I'm Mexicano, that's what's in my blood. Open up my heart, yeah, I need a hug. Search for love, search for love. One more time, tell them search for love.
Ooh, the contemporary R&B.
Yeah. Okay.
Bring it back, G Money.
Hey, bring it back. Yo. Hey. This remind me of summer nights with ice pops. Yeah. Yeah. This remind me of summer nights with ice pops. Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to my moms, I ain't never had a pops. That's okay, cause I always had my squad. I had to learn how to be a man with my brothers. I had to learn how to be a man with one mother. Life got me smothered, feeling some way. Feeling so bad on a Sunday. Feeling like I don't wanna live on Monday. Hoping that I can get over to Friday. But that ain't how we should be living. Waiting for the weekend, no, there ain't no giving. Every day's the weekend, and that's how I be living. Yeah, I be chiefing. Yeah, I be missing them old days. Getting back to my old ways. No way, this is today. Yeah, yesterday, I feel pain. Need to change life, need rearrange. Go to the suburbs like LaGrange. Life's strange, might take myself away, but I could not do that. No matter how much it's affecting my brain. See the rolling, no Kelly. Playing these piano keys on the telly. Feeling so good, the weed so smelly. They was like, he got it like peanut butter and jelly. Put it on that bread, no wheat. G-Money gon' ride around like skeet. Gotta stand up on my own 2 feet. I don't wanna talk, no meet and greet. Can't speak, this ain't no speech. It's a far reach to feel like I can teach. I ain't no teacher, I'm a doer. Feel like Mr. Teacher. Shout out to my shout out Mr. Teacher. Yeah, young ballers on the scene. We gon' live our dreams, building up our scheme. For the team, for the team. Yeah, I see this chalkboard around us. Yeah, trying to be well-rounded, stay grounded. Trying to change up the town, cause it's pain that we feel, ayy. Pain that we feel. Yeah. Oh, beat breakdown. Yeah.
Chill.
Okay. Okay. This a freestyle off the dome, straight to the boards, get a rebound. Yeah, I'm gon' score, do some more. It's a chore the way that I spit out my blood and gourd. I felt torn, but now I feel reborn. This is 25, feeling so high, I'm gon' thrive. Strive to be the best, yeah, that's the all-time Hall of Fame. Put me at Cooperstown. They like, damn, G-Money in a Hooper's town. That's Chicago from the go, so I go. I spin my mode, they tell them that I'm Alamo. I'm in my zone like a corner, that young chocolate. Gotta get my money every day, that's that mate. I don't even drink no lattes. I just got that young fever. They was like, damn, how that boy got demeanor. So confident, should it be obvious? I'm obnoxious, the way that I spit. It's a mix in the right direction. My boy got the Twix, yeah, so it's so sweet. It's a treat, Halloween in 2 days. Might go trick or treat just to get some sweet, ayy, yeah. From a nice little MILF, looking so good she might free me her milk. Now it's getting crazy, what I'm talking about. Had to move around, now I got to reroute. This is our moment, so we gon' soak in it like it's a pool, like it's a pool. Sorry for the kids that's gotta go to school. Glad that we graduated from school. Got a young degree, but I had to graduate to be an MC. Show these that they can't tempt me to live a bad life. No, that's not me. I'm gon' stay true to my avenue, get my residuals, tryna up my income. Yes, sir, I don't stop. I'ma keep working. I don't wanna bore my homies, but I keep on going. Life feels so lonely, it just drones on. See these drones flying in the sky. No, they watching. Oh yeah, they put the cameras up. I'm like, dang, why they trying to see our ways of life? Trying to take my life. Why they ain't put that camera when they took Kyle's life? It's crazy. It's really crazy. It's all twisted. It don't make sense. Every day I be wishing that life was better than it is. But I remember to appreciate my perspective. Ooh. Cut.
Mic drop.
Woo!
Ooh, that's some saucy chords to end the night, folks.
Ooh.
Thank you for tuning with us.
Thanks for tuning
Everybody,
in. We
Thank
love
you.
you guys. Appreciate
As
you.
always,
Thank you, Northside Plug.
stay saucy as always.
Thank you, Chicago.
Make sure to go out and vote if you haven't yet.
Go out and vote. Do
Listen
your civil
to the
duty.
sound of my voice as I cascade into the distance.
We love you guys. Thank you.
Love you. Take care of your family.
Take
Be
care.
safe.
Take care, everyone. Till next time.
See you on the other side of the election. Nice. Good work,
Way to
fellas.
finish the show strong.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for letting me do my thing.
Of course. Always.
Just,
Always.
yeah, man. I'm glad. I feel better, man. Thank you. This is a good end to the day. Hey, Mr. Joe.